Hello everyone, welcome to PyTech, where we go high-tech with Python.
Today, we'll be talking about conditionals. So, what are conditionals? Well, conditionals allow our programs to make decisions based on its situation. For example, we have a variable called day that is equals to 1. So, if we want the program to do different things, if this value is different, we can use the if command. In Python, you can say if day equals to 1, we can tell it to do something. So, in Python, this is the conditional. And this day equals to 1 is the condition. After writing the condition, Python wants us to have a colon, so Python knows that this block under here is part of this condition, along with needing this indentation. So if I tell this to say print hello, as you can see, if I run this, it will print hello. But if our variable day has a value of 2, you can see that if we run this, nothing will happen. So we now have one condition. What if we want to have more than one condition? We can use the else if command. Unlike other languages, in Python, the else if is represented by elif. As with the first condition, we can write a second condition followed by a colon. So else if day equals to 2, we can print hi from Python. So as you can see now that if we run this, it says hello from Python because I cannot spell. So that's fixed. Next, if you only have two conditions you want your program to respond to and ignore the rest, this is it. Or alternatively, if your program is not either condition 1 or condition 2, but you still want it to do something, you can use the else statement. The else statement does not take a condition because it will only execute when the conditions does not satisfy this and this. So therefore, if we say to print else like this, as you can see, if we run this again, it still will run this block of code because this condition has been satisfied. But if we say this as a random number, like this, and we run it, it will run this else block. Next, we will talk about loops. There are two types of loop in Python, while and for. So, first, we will be covering while loop. A while loop will run as long as the condition stated here is true. So, as an example, if I say n is equals to 0, while n is smaller than 10, print n and n plus equals to 1. So, as you can see, if I run this, you can see that when we first print n is equals to 0, then it runs this entire block of code again because n is still less than 10. So it keeps running until 9. Because when we print n here, n is equals to 9, when n gets 1 added to it, it is now 10, which is not lesser than 10. So this loop stops. Next, we will talk about for loops. A for loop works with an iteratable, such as a list. So if I say I have a list of the numbers 2, 4, 5, and 6, I can use a for loop to say for number in my list I want you to print that number. So you can see that it will print out 2, 4, 5, and 6. So earlier we talked about conditionals, such as if, else if, or else. So we can also use these in a loop to do certain things. For example, n is equals to 0. While n is lesser than 10, we want to have n plus equals to 1, which means that n will keep increasing. Now we want to print out only even numbers. So if n modulo 2 equals to 0, you can tell it to print n. That's it. So now if we run this, you can see that it prints out only even numbers. Next would be the break and continue. For example, if I have a list of numbers and alphabet that are all strings, example, so for example, if I only want to print out anything before this alphabet, I can simply write for item in my list if item dot is alpha, we can tell it to break, and then we write else and print item, and then we run this. We can see that it runs all the way to 5, and when it sees that this is an alphabet, it breaks itself. Or alternatively, if you also want to print out these two numbers, we can change the break into a continue. The continue will skip the cycle and go on to the next item straight away. So, as you can see here, when I run it, you can see that it goes to 5. It sees that this is an alphabet, so it just continues to the next one, which is H. This is also an alphabet, so it continues to G, which is also an alphabet. And when it finally comes to this, it says, oh, it's not an alphabet, so it prints itself out. So earlier I said that a for loop can only be used with an iteratable. So what is an iteratable? If you've watched my data types video, it is any of the sequence types, such as a list, a tuple, a set, a dictionary, a string. If I have a string that is a random string of letters, I can say for I in string. We can also say to print out I. This placeholder variable can be named anything you want. Usually we use I. So if I just comment this part out and run it, you can see that it printed out everything in this string as individual letters. Before you guys go, I want to give you a small assignment for practice. So I want you to find the length of a string. I'll show you the solution after this, so feel free to pause and then come back to see the solution that I have come up with. So I hope you guys tried the little assignment. So this is my solution. So we have a string that I conveniently placed numbers in, so we know that this is 9 characters long. So we have a variable called count, which will keep count of the amounts of character in our string. So next we have a for loop, and in that for loop, the count will get added by 1 for every character in the string. So as you can see here, if I run it, you can see that it returns out 9. But if you're really lazy, we can forgo all that and use the length command, like this. As you can see here, if I tell Python to print out this length of the string and I run it, you can see that it also gives out 9. But sometimes you will not have access to this length function. For example, when you're doing a programming interview and you have been specifically told to not use the length function. So now you know how to find the length of a string without needing to use the length function.
That's all I have for you all today. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button and click the notification icon to be notified when I upload a new video.